confusing. Nealon's hiding in the corner, but he's running out of bullets, and the reload's impossible at that corner. Breeze goes down, and Heroic, they were everywhere. Never mind the opening kill. They just lost track of where those T players were.
Really interesting style and choice there on the opener from Heroic to go all in on long, because they had the one lurker here in Yabby, but everybody else taking what is supposed to be a USP favored fight. But you could see that once they slotted themselves in that post plant, those Glocks are too powerful. Those close ranges, the rapid fire rate, the instant one bullet headshot kill, too much for EG to handle. Could never find footing. Missed Monster Smoke early from EG, not what you want to see for this B defense, and it might enable Cadian, because there are so many angles now that EG have to worry about.
Yeah, that's a rare MP5 that's being brought up. Don't get to see that all the time.
And for a good reason. It's questionable.
It's more for the nostalgia than anything else, you know?
Which would take place if it weren't silenced.
I know. It's so strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nostalgia in name, not in function.
They need to change that. Although I guess it's probably not nostalgia for most of the players in the server anyway, because I doubt they actually back to 1.6 in the same way. Anyway, 4-on-5, pressure being put on here. It's down, going to be out of the rounder, but ultimately no defense ready to be summoned at the B bomb site. Cadian is 18-5 right now. He's having himself a game. He took it personally earlier. What was happening on Nuke? Going to be 15-2 at the end of this, and it's very different from what we saw last time. EG, again, they won it last time, 16-14. Quite a different story than what we're seeing at the moment.
They had a much better T-side, EG. They won 9 rounds last time, and this isn't even a guess, but they went A almost half the rounds in that last game versus Heroic. I think it was about 7 times they were trying to go to A. And this time, all we saw were those B pops repeatedly. Like, they wanted to play off of the fact that it's almost like the conditioning from the previous game set up the game plan for this one, and it proved rather ineffective. When the first time, it was pretty good. Going A worked. And so this almost felt like this is kind of a meta discussion, but when you're the team that wins the previous matchup, you usually want to innovate upon what you did last time. And I think EG went for a slightly more single-dimensional approach, and it didn't work in their favor.
Yeah, and slightly also pushed into it by Heroic winning so many of the fights over at the A bomb side. But you're right, it did seem like it was very telegraphed, a lot of what was being thrown at Heroic. So they're 1 round away, and there's not a lot of cash or anything else to work with here for EG. They're getting chewed up right away. 21 kills on Cadian. He wants everything he can get right now before the map is over. This might get cut short, but only because of how quickly they're winning. Hexed on his own in a 1 versus 3, and he is on the wrong side of the map. So it's a statement performance here for Heroic. And now another interesting test for EG, obviously. Can they survive getting beat up like this? Because they were on a nice roll. That Nuke map was really great, so now they have a bit of an emotional test coming up, for sure.
It'll be a tough one, especially given the fact that they have never played the 3rd map with this 5. Mirage is one that we still don't have the data for EG on, so really curious what the analyst desk is going to say in their predictions.
Same could be said for Nuke for a bit there, but they still managed to step it up and do a really good job. And now we'll see. Ooh, yeah, Tessus takes him down. Heroic all the way on Overpass. They bring it to a 3rd map, and with a very, very convincing scoreline on top. Seemed like Cadian for a minute there took it personally, and I don't really blame him. There was a lot of yelling back and forth, but this is a grudge match after all, and we can tell why at the moment.